And the other shoe has dropped. Officially, Microsoft is laying off a massive amount of people at Xbox. This has been rumored for the last couple of weeks now, and it has happened. This is like a Black Monday. I don't know, but we're going to talk about what current CEO Asha Sharma is saying. And basically, Xbox is in major, major trouble. And the margins are not good. And this goes along with what Satya Nadella was saying, that they've been subsidizing Xbox for years, Microsoft. It's not good. And this is right after Sony's like, yeah, we're going to kill physical media. This is not a good week for games, at least not AAA games, at least not the mainstream, again, what do we call it? The mainstream gaming industry. It's fine if you're like an indie Steam developer or something, but if you're working for Microsoft, PlayStation, the only one that seems possibly unaffected by all of this drama is Nintendo. But I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop over there too. I mean, we're already getting like half a game shipped on a cartridge, and their numbers are down too. Look, I told you guys before, it feels like we're in the middle of a video game crash. And it's felt that way for at least a year now. And I think this is proof that it's actually happening. It's actually happening. So I don't want to hear it from people, because we have people in the comments like, you're just a doomer, Unc. Fuck off. It's bad, guys. Sorry. It's really bad. This was never sustainable. The ridiculous prices, the piss poor, half-assed, half-finished games costing $300 million, the constant drama that actually has been impacting game sales, I believe, negatively. Yeah, and all roads lead to this. So let's talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You know the drill. Go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com. We have a new episode coming later today on more.clownfishtv.com about the BBC and YouTube, and how the BBC is going to try to force YouTube to surface their videos before creator videos. That's a whole thing. And also, if you'd like to listen to the audio version of Clownfish TV, go out to Clownfish TV Podcast. You can listen on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. We are there. So we'll go out and read Asha Sharma's very, very long, very long tweet here in a little bit. But first, let's take the bird's eye view from The Verge. Microsoft is selling off 4 Xbox studios as part of significant gaming cuts. Double Fine and Compulsion Games are going independent, and Microsoft is also selling Ninja Theory and Undead Labs and laying off 4,000 people. 5,000 people, almost 5,000 people. Wow. Okay, so Microsoft laying off 4,800 employees, and then we'll talk about studios they're selling off. Most of the job losses are in Microsoft's Xbox and commercial sales organizations. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So after cutting 9,100 employees, Microsoft is making further layoffs today as it begins its new financial year. The software maker is laying off around 4,800 employees today, approximately 2.1% of its workforce. They have a lot of people working there. Most of the employees affected by today's cuts are in the commercial sales business or the company's Xbox division. In an internal memo to employees, Amy Coleman, Executive Vice President, Microsoft's Chief People Officer, blamed the job losses on changing technology. The industry is changing, and the need to adjust resources and roles and shift how we operate to respond to how AI is impacting companies like Microsoft. Basically, it sounds to me like they're cutting a bunch of Microsoft people loose so they can divert all their attention to AI. The layoff is going to impact 1,600 Xbox. Okay, 1,600 Xbox employees today, with plans to eliminate a total of around 20% of Xbox jobs by the end of the financial year. Microsoft is also selling off 4 studios. We'll talk about that. They're calling the layoffs a reset moment. It will impact around 1,600 Xbox employees, approximately 8% of the division, according to a memo from Asha Sharma. The cuts won't end today, though, as Microsoft is planning to eliminate a total of around 15% of Xbox jobs by the end of the year. These figures don't include the hundreds of Xbox employees leaving as part of Microsoft's 4 studio sales. Sometimes that's how you get rid of people. you sell a division or you reorganize and you're just like, yep, sorry guys. Sorry, there's no room for you. Double Fine and Compulsion Games are returning to their founders, so Tim Schafer will take Double Fine back to independence. Okay, that's cool. Double Fine was a good studio, and then Microsoft bought them. So Tim Schafer is going to take it back, and Guillaume Provost is making Compulsion Games an indie game studio again. Ninja Theory, the makers of Hellblade, and Undead Labs, the developers behind State of Decay, are also being sold, with agreements in place to ensure that State of Decay 3 ships. I recognize the year-long restructuring creates additional challenges. Unfortunately, it's not possible to make all the necessary changes in a single day, and I want to be direct about the scale, says Sharma. I know this is painful. So let's go out to her message, her missive, and she spells it out. I mean, to her credit and to the credit of Satya Nadella, very few CEOs in current year lay out the financials as plainly as they have. And they're saying, hey, we're not making any money. Everybody tries to hide it. I mean, they're basically selling these consoles at a loss at this point. They've raised the prices. We knew something was up. They raised the price of Xbox 3 times in a year. You don't do that if you're making money hand over fist. But she flat out says Xbox is losing, like big time. Xbox is losing. So this is her post. This is an important email I sent to all employees at Xbox. Team, we're beginning the most significant restructure in Xbox history. After careful consideration, I've made the difficult decision to reduce our team by 3,200 people throughout fiscal year 27. This will include approximately 1,600 role eliminations today. And in addition, 4 studios will leave Xbox to new management. I recognize the year-long restructuring creates additional challenges. Unfortunately, it's not possible to make all the necessary changes in a day. So good luck. Keep your resume updated if you work at Microsoft, especially in the Xbox division. I'm just saying. I want to be direct about the scale. So this is going to be going on for about 2 years. I know this is painful. These changes will directly affect people who have poured their creativity into building Xbox. Many joined us through acquisitions. That is the biggest problem right there. See also Disney. While others were recruited here or sought us out because they love the industry and they love Xbox, today's decisions do not reflect their talent or dedication. Our business today is not healthy. For her to come out and say that, wow, our business today is not healthy. We are operating at margins that are 3 to 10 times lower than comparable platform and publishing businesses. We entered Generation 9 with a smaller install base and a higher cost structure. Everybody knew Xbox was failing. Everybody knew Xbox scrubbed out this generation. And if you said anything about it on Twitter, my God, the Xbox stands, they would just dogpile you. Starfield's the greatest game ever made. Shut up. We entered Gen 9 with a smaller install base and a higher cost structure. To grow, we bet on Game Pass, multi-platform, and a broader portfolio of content. While those businesses created meaningful value, did they? They did not grow at the pace we expected. So we ran headfirst into the wood chipper. That's me adding that. As that happened, our core business weakened, and we added more teams, more investment, more time, hoping for a better outcome. It's called throwing good money after bad. And you don't do that in business. You have to get to a place where you're willing to subsidize things for so long. And I've run into this myself, where you're willing to subsidize things for so long, but if there is no payout, on the horizon, you're like, I could take those resources, that time, that money, and invest it someplace else and actually get a return on my investment. She said, now the industry is facing the most severe hardware crisis in history. We must reset Xbox. First, we're going to reset our content portfolio. They said we've aggressively expanded our studio portfolio while the number of games created each month across the industry now outpaces the last 10 years combined. Let me get this straight. Okay. The number of games created each month across the industry outpaces the last 10 years combined. So there's too much. We now find ourselves competing not only with the largest publishers, but also with smaller independent studios. Yes, it's neither possible nor desirable to own every great independent studio. Yeah, this was a huge mistake. Embracer did this too. Sony did this too. They went and tried to gobble up all these studios that showed promise. And then what all that happened was they gobbled the studio up. They might have got lucky or whatever, or they would kill what made the studio special. Again, see also Disney, and try to bring it into their corporation, and it just does not work. Meanwhile, you've got smaller studios with like a dozen people, 24 people, whatever, cranking out great games. They're actually making a profit because they don't have the overhead that Microsoft has. And that's what this is about too. Like people, they're spending $300 million on games these days. Like, like seriously, what the hell? What the hell? That's an insane amount of money. And is most of that money being spent on people? Do we need 1,000 people making a game? How many people does it take to screw in a light bulb? I'm just saying. Compulsion Games Double Fine will return to their management. We're also making reductions across other units, in some cases shifting investments to focus on higher priority projects. These changes vary in size across Activision, Bethesda, Blizzard, King, Mojang, and Xbox Game Studios. None of our first-party publicly announced games or projects are being canceled. Okay. We're going to reset our platform. Oh, this is interesting. We know that great technology gets better when it gets simpler, not bigger. Today, in some parts of the company, work passes through as many as 14 layers of management. Holy hell. Our platform teams are 40% larger than they were at the start of this generation, even as our player base and playtime have declined. Bloat. Bloat is killing the video game industry. That complexity has slowed decisions, blurred accountability, and made it harder to deliver for players. As we reset Xbox, we will simplify. We'll reduce management layers to no more than 5. That's still too many. And where possible, 3. We will deliver success through a flatter organization that's built around makers, individual contributors focused on building things, player coaches, leaders who remain deeply involved in the work while developing their teams, and directly responsible individuals, DRIs, who own key decisions and outcomes. Basically, if we dump millions of dollars into a game and it fails, your ass is on the line. You can't hide anymore. If you're the guy who said, yes, let's bet on this horse, and that horse trips and falls and explodes on the racetrack, that is your fault. You're getting fucking fired for that. You're getting fired for that. That's how it needs to work. These companies need to think more like small businesses, right? And that's how do people fail upwards? It's because they can hide. They can hide in a large number of people. They've got all these people around them they can blame. They can take credit for their work, and then they can blame them. But you know damn well there are people working at these companies, if they had to do it themselves, if they had like their own plumbing business or something, they won't be able to do shit for themselves. We're going to streamline how we work across our tools with cleaner code base, shared services, and 50% reduced vendor spend. We're resetting how we operate. As Xbox grew our headcount, we became fragmented. Teams, studios, and functions operate independently. It became harder to work toward a shared goal, make the right trade-offs, and get things done. For the first time, we're establishing a chief operating officer with end-to-end P&L responsibility across content, hardware, platform, and services. As Helen Chang's been promoted to this role, 2 decades at Xbox, helped build some of our most important businesses, bought Mojang and Minecraft. Yeah. So Dave McCarthy's retiring after 17 years with Xbox. We probably bought him out. Anyway, at the end here, Asha says, I want Xbox to be one of the few companies that entertains more than 1 billion people each day and gives everyone the opportunity to create and connect. I know we can achieve this goal. Xbox has many of the most beloved franchises in entertainment history, which you've wiped your ass with. See also Halo. And we will return to growth in 2027. History is full of companies that mistake longevity for inevitability. We will not be one of them. I think they're starting to realize that they are mortal. Like, just because Xbox has been around for a long time, just because Microsoft has been around for a long time, doesn't mean they're always going to be around. And they've got a lot of younger companies nipping at their heels. But what they really need to do is they need to win back gamers. And I don't know if they're going to do that. They also need to fix Halo. I can tell you. So I talked about this before. We had a smallish esports center arcade nerd shop thing we did for about 5 years. I didn't talk about it on YouTube. I didn't want people getting harassed that work there because it had nothing to do with what we did on YouTube, right? But we had Halo Infinite installed on all the rigs, and literally not a single person ever played Halo Infinite. We had that, like, I was like, yeah, we got to put the new Halo, like, people are going to be playing this. It's going to be like Fortnite. I stupidly thought Halo was still popular, because I'm a boomer, but not a single person played it. Not a single person played Halo Infinite. They didn't care. We almost pulled the trigger on buying one of the Halo arcade, the big, like the 4-gun cabinets. At one point, we were looking at them. And I'm like, that would probably bring people in. It's pretty cool. I'm like, that would have been the dumbest shit ever. Like, yeah, let's go spend $20,000 on a Halo cabinet that nobody's going to play because nobody gives a shit about Halo anymore. So we dodged that bullet. But yeah, they got to fix this. Mike Koopa says, sorry. Sorry to those that are being let go, especially if you're good at what you do. We all knew drastic change was needed. This person says the easiest, this is memes on memeing on libs. I'm sorry. The easiest solution is just look for the pink haired devs that are destroying your IP and send them on their way. Rise Jones says, let no rainbow rock be left unturned. The Sharma purge continues quietly, efficiently, and with surgical precision. I think you are definitely overestimating what's going on here. I think Sharma has been tasked with, basically this is a Hail Mary pass. This is like, we either fix this shit or we sell this shit off. I think she's been given like 2 years to try to turn it around because she's flat out saying we're not going to subsidize Xbox forever. The problem is I think the brand has been damaged, and I don't know if a new console necessarily is going to fix it. Nobody's buying Xbox now, but people, they can take advantage of this. People are really pissed off at PlayStation, so they can totally take advantage of that. And apparently they are. They've got some tools to like burn stuff to CDs now or something. They made the announcement about that, but yeah. Architect says, I have to admit the lady boss has balls. Credit where credit's due for making hard choices. I don't think she has a choice. I think this is what she was brought in to do. I think she was brought in to make this thing profitable, come hell or high water. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if Xbox can be fixed at this point. I think it's very, very bloated. I think the whole like AAA space, it just feels like there's massive upheaval right now. And I think a lot of players are just going to indies or they're going to retro gaming. I don't know. But we'll see. It's going to get very interesting very soon. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.